Hello, my fiery friends. Welcome to another awesome and fiery fun stream. I am your host, the Infernoman here, and hopefully having a wonderful day wherever you are at. So, we have finally jumped into Lorwyn Eclisped, and it is now here on Arena. So, what will we be playing first for our very first fiery fun stream? Well, I'm glad you asked. So without further ado, let's just jump into it right now and show you exactly what we're going to be playing for today. All right, let's get settled in right now. Awesome. Nice. Okay. So, as you can see here, join me today in the Brawl format for our very first deck that's going to be focused on High Perfect... Wait, is it Morcant or is it Morcant? I don't know. I just work here. Anyways, this is going to be, of course, your new elf mommy of High Perfect Morcant here in Golgari Elves. So that's what we're going to be playing with today. Oh, WTF? Oh, Betty? Bet. Thank you. Hello. Good afternoon, my fire friend. How are you doing today? I see 3... YYY plays. How are you doing? Hopefully having a wonderful day wherever you are at. So let's see. Excuse me. Ugh, that was gross, by the way. Any case, so we're going to be playing, of course, here in the Brawl format with a budget version of this card first off, and then we'll go over the whole game plan for you actually in just a moment. I'm the best? Well, thank you for that. Appreciate that. Densplinit, finally? Yes, finally. Thanks again for joining us today, Densplinit. How are you doing today? Hopefully having a wonderful day wherever you're at. So, where am I at here? Wow, I'm losing my train of thought here. Thank you. So, any case, let's cover how we're going to be doing this as always. We'll be, of course, going over the budget game plan here, and then halfway through the stream, we'll upgrade the deck to see if you do like what we're playing, how you can take it to the next level. But first off, let's talk about the stats of the deck, because longtime viewers of the channel know how we do it. We have to talk about the stats of the deck before we dive right in. So Elf Mommy here is going to be, in the Brawl format, it's going to be Golgari, so that means black and green. Average mana curve will be about 2.5, and, oh, we got a subscription there. Thanks again for that. It's IC3. YYY. Thanks again for that subscription. I really do appreciate that, by the way. Death by Vulture. Awesome. So glad you picked her. Yes, we did. We had to do, of course, the first deck had to be Elf Mommy. And we'll be talking a little bit more about some of the other aspects about her. I've seen her memed a lot. A little bit too much, but we all know what's the reason for that. Any case, going over the stats again. Since this is an elf deck, we're going to be all in on creatures. 36 creatures in total. 11 instants, 11 sorceries, 4 artifacts, 3 enchantments, and 34 lands. So, High Perfect Morcant here. No problem. Yeah, appreciate that. Fizzy plays XZZ Bros. Love your videos. You can just call me Baby Yoja. Hello, Baby Yoja. That is you. How are you doing today? Hopefully having a wonderful day wherever you're at. And thanks again for joining us today. So, Elf Mommy here. And let's be real. Y'all know why you like her. I really was surprised. I mean, wow, this set, they put in some interesting art. I'll leave it at that. Thighs. Oh, I know. Although some people were speculating like the artist probably did it with regular feet. And then for those that know the lore of Lorwyn, see what I did there? But seriously, Lorwyn elves have hooves, which I know kind of threw some people off that did not play Lorwyn. I know of the art, but it felt like the hooves in this art were like an afterthought. Obviously, I don't want to cannot get my words here. I don't want to delve. Wow, I cannot think right now. Any case, but yes, I kind of feel like, yes, the point I'm trying to make though is the art feels like it was a little bit of an afterthought with the hooves here, but we all know what they were doing there. We all knew what they were doing. In any case, I mean, look at that stance with her too. She commands authority, so that's why she's got to be in charge of the deck today. But seriously, going back, of course, to what she actually does. High Perfect Morcant here is a 4-mana, 4/4 elf noble legendary creature, and she says when she or another elf you control enters, each opponent has to blight 1. So to blight, that means it's a new mechanic from Lorwyn, meaning you put a -1/-1 counter on a creature. If the card says we blight, that means that we have to put the -1/-1 counter on our creature. In this instance here, she's awesome because she will make our opponent blight instead. So we can slowly start stacking up counters on our opponent, and hopefully we can drain out our opponent. What's actually really sweet about the card though is with blight, -1/- counters, that gets around indestructible creatures because that'll wither them away to like next to nothing. So that's actually pretty sweet for that. What's the game's name? Oh, we're playing Magic the Gathering Arena there. IC3. So it's based on the paper card game that's been around for over 30 years, and we're playing it digitally here today for the stream. Thanks again for that question, though. Thanks again for that. So the other major thing that we want with our commander here is her other ability is also pretty sweet. You tap 3 elves, and then you can proliferate. The only downside is you can only do this at sorcery speed. Although I suppose if you took away the sorcery speed part, then she'd be absolutely busted. So still pretty powerful card here. So that's how we're going to build our deck today. So as you can see here with the deck that we'll cover in just a moment here, the idea with our elf mommy is basically going to be around -1/-1 counters to soften up our game plan with our opponent. And we want to try to get out as many elves as we can, because then we'll put more counters against our opponent's creatures. And we'll also be able to start using her ability here to tap 3 elves and start softening up our opponent more and more. So we want to go wide with elves. We're going to be all in on that game plan. Counters galore. And we actually have another sneaky game plan we'll talk about in just a little bit here. Okay, so let's cover now the whole deck, and then we'll get into some games in just a little bit. So with that, starting in the 1-drop slot here, with a new instant, Scarblade's Malice. Target creature you control gets Death Touch and Lifelink, so good for protection on the backswing. If the creature dies, you get to leave behind an elf token. So that's actually kind of cool for us, and we can help us with our elf game plan. We'll throw in some cards to make sure we can keep bringing stuff back, like Urborg Repossession here, bouncing back a creature to our hand. We can kick it to gain some life, and also bring another card back to our hand. Vat of Brief Birth also will do the same thing as well. Anytime we have an artifact or creature go into the graveyard, we put an oil counter on this. We can then remove 4 oil counters, pay 3 life, I'm sorry, not pay 3 life, pay 3 mana, and then tap it to bring back the creature to the battlefield. So that's actually good for us, and we want to make sure we can start building up counters. Speaking of ways to build up counters, we want to start using Proliferate. So we will use cards like Whisper of the Drawseer at instant speed. Creature will get -1/-1 until end of turn, and then we can Proliferate. So that means we can make our stuff pump up with proliferating. That means that we can then put as but we can put as any number of permanents or players that have counters on stuff an additional counter. So this actually can be sweet for us once we start putting -1/-1 counters on our opponent's creatures. Bushwhack here digs us for a basic land, or you can use it as a fight spell to beat something down. Elvish Mystic, classic of course, we got to start ramping as fast as possible, so we'll throw in of course Elvish Mystic here, and we have of course Land of War Elves. Go Forth here at instant speed allows us to dig out a basic land, or we could just pump up a creature, give it +2/+2 until end of turn. Great animations. Oh, thanks for that. I appreciate that. It's not the most fanciest of systems that I'm using here, I know, compared to some of the other VTubers out there, but hey, I mean, this little fireball tries to do what he can with what he can. He's working on a bit of a budget here, but thanks again for that. Appreciate that. Continuing on, we have Thirsting Roots here. At sorcery speed, you can then dig out another basic land, or you can use this to proliferate the game plan and start putting counters on stuff. Virulent Emissary, a new card for us, also from the Lorwyn set here. It's an Elf Assassin when it has Death Touch, so it's a good blocker for us, but realistically, anytime a creature we control enters, and it doesn't have to be an elf, we can gain 1 life. So good for us to kind of help build up our life total and keep us sponging hits. Revitalizing Repast here, instant speed, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, and it gains indestructible until end of turn, or you can use it as a tap land in a pinch. In the 2-drop slot here, we have Skemvar Avenger here, Elf Berserker. Anytime an elf or berserker we control dies, we just simply draw a card and lose 1 life. We don't care about the life loss, all we just want is just to keep drawing more cards. Creekwood Safe right here, another new elf for us. This creature will enter with 3 -1/-1 counters on it. So technically it's a 5/5, but it comes up, of course, a little weak at first. However, at the beginning of your end step, if there's an elf card in the graveyard and this creature has a -1/-1 counter, you get to remove 1 counter. So little by little, it'll get stronger and stronger as the game progresses. Excuse me real quick, everybody. Hold on. I gotta stay. Ugh. Note to self, I really got to dust down my desk again. I'm starting to get sneezy. Although I realize the weather in my area went from super duper hot to like really cold now. I think we're getting a storm coming in the next couple hours. Yeesh. Any case, where was I? Oh, Rowan. Hello. Good afternoon, my fire friend. How you doing today? Hopefully having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Thanks again for showing up for you. You're just in time for us to go over the deck tech for us from Lorwyn here. Deadly Dispute, so we can have another way of sacrificing stuff at instant speed to just draw some cards, make a treasure token. Drown in Ichor, this is a slower removal spell, but it still works for us because we want to -4/-4 something, and also we can proliferate, so this helps us again with the game plan. Heartless Hack here, this is actually a really sweet tech for a deck like this with Blight, because with Blight, you can actually use this to remove counters from your creatures if you want to speed up the process, or you can just destroy a creature with no counters on it. So you have many ways of utilizing this, and it's very flexible. Braven, hi, hello my fire friend, good afternoon, how are you doing today? Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. And thanks again for joining us today. Iron Shield Elf here, a new elf also from Lorwyn here. So you discard a card to then make this creature be indestructible, and then you could tap it. So kind of helps us with blocking. Necrogen Communion here. So this might seem a little goofy here, but hear me out for a second here. So this is an enchantment aura. When it enters, you put it onto a creature you control and then give that creature Toxic 2. When the enchanted creature dies, you can then bring back that creature to the battlefield. So this kind of gives us a little protection, but realistically, this gives our opponent poison counters. Remember that again, poison means that if an opponent gets 10 poison counters, they instantly lose the game. It doesn't matter how much life they have, how many cards they have left, they will lose. So this is kind of like a plan B to the deck. We have a couple of ways to give poison counters on our opponent, and we have a couple of ways we can start proliferating those poison counters. So possibly, it's a little jank, but that is an alternate game plan to help us win. Branch Blight Stalker here. We also have another card here. It's an elf. It has Toxic 2, so again, helps us out with the poison game plan if we can make it work. Devoted Druid. I can't believe they added this card to Arena. This is actually a really good card, by the way. Elf Druid, 0/2. However, use it as a mana dork to add green mana, or put a -1/-1 on the counter on the creature to untap it at instant speed. So with some goofy little tricks you could do, you actually should be able to make this go nearly infinite with certain game plans. We may not be able to do it in the budget deck, but that is an option for the deck in the future. Okay. High C3 is still trying to hype me up here. Well, thanks again for the hype, my friend. I appreciate that, by the way. You're actually pretty nice there. Braven also subscribing there. Thanks again for that subscription, my fire friend. Really appreciate you doing that. Appreciate the love. All right, continuing on here, we want to make sure we can get through our elves here because I want to get going with the game. Dwayne's Elite, classic little elf here. When it enters, if you have another elf out, you just create another token. So they're good for us to build up our game plan. Elvish Visionary, simple little elf here, just enters and helps us to draw another card. Elvish Warmaster here is one of our key big pieces for the deck here. Elvish Warmaster, anytime one or more elves we control enters, we get to create an Elf Warrior creature token. You can only do this once a turn, but this will help us again just build up our game plan. It's also a sweet finisher because for 7 mana, gives all of our elves +2/+2 and Death Touch until end of turn. So this can give us another way to provide a victory for us. Newfound Adventures / Farseek just helps us again with ramping by getting out our lands. Gallic Readers here, another great elf for us. Anytime another creature we control enters, you can put +1/+1 counter on the creature, put a tapped treasure token out, or gain 2 life. The +1/+1 counters may be a little slow on it, but technically you can use this as kind of like a way to counterbalance the blight mechanic. So if we have to blight stuff, maybe we could put -1/-1 counters on this creature. If they have +1/+1 counters, well, they kind of cancel each other out. But you get the idea. It helps us, again, just provide for us another way to sink stuff down. Incubation Druid here. This will, of course, tap for 1 green mana. However, if you have a +1/+1 counter on it, you can add 3 mana instead for ramping. Infectious Bite here allows us to deal damage to another creature equal to our creature's power. And also we can give our opponent a poison counter. So this will help us, again, just weaken our opponent with the game plan, a plan B, if you will. Liz Alana Dignitary here, 2 mana, 2/3 Elf Advisor. In order to play this spell, however, you either have to pay 2 more mana or you have to behold an elf. To behold an elf, you basically have to show another elf card that you have in your hand or just kind of pick a elf card that's on the field. So kind of nice for us. And of course, it helps us tap for 2 green mana. So great for us overall. Oh, well, wow. You're really hyping me up there, my friend. Well, again, appreciate that. I really do like that. So again, don't feel like you have to, don't feel obligated to, of course, do that, but I still appreciate that just the same. So thank you for that. Much love, my friend. Much love. Paradise Road here, of course, will be a hexproofing mana dork for us, but you can tap it for 1 mana of any color. So good for us overall. Pollen Bright Druid here. This will be a sweet one because you can put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, or you just simply proliferate to start pumping up the game plan. Priest of Titania here, another amazing elf for us, gives us enough mana based on how many elves are on the battlefield. So this can get super out of control very quickly and great for the budget deck. Terra Sunder here allows us to exile an artifact or creature. However, if we kick the spell for an additional 2 mana, we can then exile a non-land permanent. So good for us to just hate on whatever our opponent has. Deadly Brew here, sorcery speed, which forces our opponent to sacrifice a creature or planeswalker that they get to pick, and we then sacrifice our own permanent. But by doing so, we can bring back another permanent card from our graveyard to our hand. So it kind of helps us, again, just churn through the deck. Arcane Signet here, we have a mana rock for us, just to help us tap for whatever mana color we need. Swiftfoot Boots, this is mostly here to protect our High Perfect Morcant here, just to make sure that she has hexproof, to make sure she's protected while she can do her game plan. We need to make sure mommy does stay nice and safe. Going to the 3-drop slot here, we have Bastard Remembrance. We're going to be utilizing a lot of life gain and drain shenanigans, so we're going to use this, of course, anytime we have a creature that dies, we get to gain 1 life, make our opponent lose 1 life. Infectious Inquiry here, so you kind of see there's a couple of other cards that support the poison package. This allows us to just draw 2 cards, we lose 2 life, but we can also put a poison counter on our opponent. Speaking of which, Vraska's Fall here also at instant speed makes our opponent sacrifice a creature or a planeswalker of their choice, and they also will get a poison counter. You're staying here forever? Well, thanks for that. You are absolutely a darling, by the way. I appreciate that, by the way. And where do you, don't me asking, since you are here right now, IC3, where do you hail from? I like to always wonder, like, where I'm getting fiery friends from, because we have fiery friends all over the globe at this point, here and there. So thanks for that. Cookie of Chaos. Hi, hello, my fiery friend. Thanks again for joining us today. How you doing? Hopefully having a wonderful day wherever you are at. We're just going over the rest of our elf package here, so thanks again for that. We're going to get to the gameplay in just a little bit. Choking Miasma here. So this is our only Wrath we can technically afford for the budget deck, but it still works pretty well for us. 3 mana to give everything on the field -2/-2 until end of turn. However, you can kick it for 1 green mana to put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. So this might be able to save maybe one thing, but ideally we can help, of course, provide a little bit of extra support to kind of hopefully wipe out our opponent's game plan. Bridgework Battles here can either be a land in a pinch or use it as a fight spell to pump up one of our creatures for +2/+2 and take out the creature. Evolution Sage here, another amazing card for us. Anytime a land we control enters, we can proliferate. So once a land enters, then we can then pull off some more -1/-1 counter shenanigans. Really good card for us. Llanowar Visionary, an expensive mana dork. However, you can then enter and it simply just draws another card for us. Reclamation Sage, Elf Shaman. When this creature enters, destroy a card effect or an enchantment, whichever one you want. Good for us for hating on our opponent's shenanigans. Tireless Provisioner, another amazing elf for us. We've been playing this card actually a lot, but this is such an all-star card. Every deck that you run that's green, landfall, or elves, you definitely have to have this card. It's an auto-include. Cookie of Chaos, I'm good. Thanks for asking. I'm in the US. All right, hello. And IC3 is from Brazil. Okay, good to know there. Well, wow, see? We got some international fun friends here. But yeah, let me know where I'll hail from, everybody. I like to know where everyone's at. So thanks again for joining us today, everybody. Okay, let me continue on because I really want to see if I can get through this and power through this as fast as possible. So Tireless Provisioner, anytime a land we control enters, make a food token, make a treasure token to help us pump up our game plan. Unforgiving Aim here, a new card also from Lorwyn. You can either use this to make an elf token, destroy an enchantment, or a creature with flying. Llanowar Tribe here, 3 mana for this elf here. It's a 3/3 elf druid, tap it for 3 green mana. Abomination of Llanowar here. So this can also be another one of the alternate commanders if you want to use it. Doesn't really fit too well with how we designed this deck, but it can work. But the way this one works, it's actually a pretty freaky card, by the way. Yeesh. But seriously, Elf Horror here. Vigilance and Menace. Abomination of Llanowar's power and toughness will be equal to the number of elves we control, plus the number of elves we control in the graveyard. Ooh, that's such a freaky art, by the way. But it is kind of cool, though. I do like what the card does. We also have some other cards you can use as alternate commanders here, like Herald King of Skemfar here. If you want to power down the deck, this works well. When Herald enters, dig 7 cards deep into your library, reveal an Elf, Warrior, or Tyvar card from among them, and put it into your hand. Sashira, Death's Whisper here. We actually never played with this card. I do like this card, however, for what it does, and it works great with our deck. A Human Elf Warlock, it's a 1/4. Bewitching Whispers means that when she enters, target creature this turn has to block. And also Whispers from the Grave. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, pay 2 life, and if you do, just draw a card. I think this is a modified version from the actual paper one, where you kind of have to pay some extra mana, but you kind of get the idea there. Oh, Cookie there also popping in to say you love my stream. Well, thanks for that, Cookie. Appreciate that, by the way. Show some love on there. Appreciate that, appreciate that. Okay. Let's see, powering through this right now, we also have Glissa Sunslayer here, one of our most powerful elves here. Phyrexian Zombie Elf, 3/3 here, first strike and death touch, so a great blocker for us. However, if it deals combat damage, we could draw a card with it, lose some life, destroy an enchantment, or remove up to 3 counters from a target permanent. So this can help us again take away some of the blight counters that we end up getting on our creatures, and then make our creatures stronger again, or we could just simply use this as a card draw engine. Morsand's Loyalist here, 3 mana, 3/2, Elf Warrior. Other elves will get a nice +1/+1 pump. If this creature dies, bring back another elf from your graveyard to your hand. So this can help us again just bring back elves to reuse them for more value. Okron Assassin here can be a great finisher for us for one specific reason. This is an elf assassin with death touch. If this card attacks, all creatures able to block have to block this creature. So this can get all of the blockers out of the way where we can do one massive swing and hopefully end our opponent here. Not a challenge, by the way, Cookie. That's okay. No, I saw your message there. So thank you for that. Thank you. Appreciate that. Shaman of the Pact, another way we can technically also end the game here. So Shaman of the Pact here, when this creature enters, an opponent has to lose life equal to the number of elves we control. So this can also be a great way to quickly drain out our opponent and speed up the game plan. Eclipsed Elf here. So 3 mana, 3/2 Elf Scout. When this creature enters, dig 4 cards deep to either pull out an Elf, Swamp, or Forest card and put it into our hand. Wow, this is a perfect card for the deck. Really, really great for us overall. Patchwork Banner here. This is another one of our mana rocks to help us make sure we can drain, get the mana we need, but realistically, use this to then choose elves, and then gives all of our creatures an extra +1/+1 pump. Into the 4-drop slot, we have Skemfar Shadow Mage here. So this is kind of similar to what the Shaman of the Pack does, but you can choose to do it one way or the other here. This is an Elf Cleric that's a 2/5. When it enters, either make an opponent lose life, where X is the greatest number of creatures we control that are all elves, or you can gain X life, where X is the amount of creatures we control. So good for us one way or the other to kind of help us survive, or keep us, again, just draining our opponent. Veil the Profane here can destroy a creature or planeswalker, or simply use it as a land. Champions of the Perfect here, Elf Warrior. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you have to behold an elf, but you also have to exile the card, so you have to take it away for a little bit here. However, when you cast a creature spell, just draw a card. So this can help us, again, churn through our deck to get all the cards we need. And when this creature leaves the battlefield, bring back the exiled card to your hand. Binding in the Old Gods here, great for our deck. 4 mana enchantment, destroys a non-blind permanent. Then part 2, dig out a forest card and put it onto the battlefield. Part 3, give creatures we control Death Touch until end of turn. Poison Tip Archer, another great way for us to help drain out our opponent and win the game. Poison Tip Archer is an elf archer with reach and Death Touch. Anytime any creature dies, we can make our opponent lose 1 life. I should have 1 million subscribers by now. Man, IFC, you are so positive. I appreciate that, by the way. I would love to have 1 million subscribers. That would be the dream. Actually, that would get me out of doing my my big boy job. But yeah, we're still not there yet. But we're not giving up, though. I mean, I started this channel 5 years ago when I only had like 29 subscribers, just literally friends and family. But we haven't actually reached a decent part here. We're actually over now 6,000. So maybe this year we can push ourselves even beyond that. So here's hoping that we can keep growing in 2026. But I appreciate your positivity, my man. I really do love it. Continuing on, we have Wardens of the Cycle here. 4 mana, 3/4 Elf Warlock. It has the Morbid ability, which means that anytime on the end step, if a creature died, and it can be any creature, by the way, ours or our opponents, we can gain 2 life, or simply just draw some more cards and lose some life. Noxious Assault, so this is also one of our other finishers for the deck. It gives all of our creatures +2/+2 until end of turn. However, anytime a creature blocks this turn, we give our opponent a poison counter. So this can be a great way to kind of just speed up the game plan and hopefully beat down our opponent with another way to win. Twin Blade Assassins here. And at the beginning of our end step, if a creature died, just draw a card. So it's a more expensive version of the Warden, but we want some redundancy to make sure we can get consistency with the deck. And finally, our last 2 big cards here. Disciple of Freyalise. I played this card many times. Grows great because this is literally an elf deck, so this is perfect. It can either be a land, or when this creature enters, you can sacrifice another creature. By doing so, you gain life and draw cards where X is that creature's power. So this can help us pump up everything as well. Really, really well. I love Poison Tip Archer. One of the first cards I've ever played. I do love this card too. I'm a little soft on this card. I've used it for several sacrifice decks. I absolutely love what it does, by the way. So yes, it of course was perfect for this deck. Michael Mayhems, hello, my fire friend. How are you doing today? Thanks again for joining us today, and hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are at. And then finally, a new card also from Lorwyn Eclisped, the final card for our deck here, Tristan's Command. 6 mana, so very expensive, but it's a kindred sorcery, so it is technically an elf card. You pick 2 abilities here. You make a token of a copy of an elf you control, or bring back 1 of 2 target permanent cards from your graveyard to our hand, destroy a creature or an enchantment, or creature target player controls get +3/+3 until end of turn. So, lots of good value from this card if we can get it to go off. And then finally, the mana base. We are a budget deck, so we want to keep this as cheap as possible. Just a Bojuka Bog for Graveyard Hate, 10 swamps, 10 basic forests, a Skemfar Eldrahar we can use to then sacrifice to make some more elf tokens, and of course some cheap tap lands, some Festering Gulch, Foggy Swamp, Haunted Mire, Jungle Hollow, Woodland Chasm, Command Tower's a staple, Demolition Field for non-basic land hate, Eclipse Realms with Secluded Courtyard, and Unclaimed Territory. All of these can tap for any mana you want as long as you're casting a creature spell. But that is the whole game plan for you, everybody. Woo! Okay, we finally got through that. So let's go over, of course, the more fun part of this stream. Let's take this deck, of course, into the Brawl format, and let's see how well Elf Mommy can do. All right, let's get this going. I'm now super excited for this one. I'm super jazzed. Cookie of Chaos, Mr. Beast, and the Infernoman collab. The Squid Games in real life. You know, now that you brought that up, obviously never, I know never in my lifetime would I ever get that collab, but if Mr. Beast was to reach out to me and ask me, Infernoman, what would you recommend for something that is themed with Magic the Gathering? Honestly, I would actually have to take a page from Yu-Gi-Oh! So what I mean by that is, you know, we would play the cards, but then we would summon everybody in costume to then start doing the moves and everything. So it's literally like IRL Yu-Gi-Oh, if you will. That sounds actually, by the way, hilarious. So I think that would probably be my my suggestion to him. I mean, even with his money, I'm sure he can definitely make that work if we were to ever do that. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, Cookie has been subbed, but thanks again for bringing that up anyway. Okay, so let's get this going, everybody. Let's see what we got today. All right, so, ooh, we can't really cast anything with this, so let's mulligan. All right, let's see. Okay, a little light, but that's fine. We have enough mana to make everything work. Okay, so we should be good here. We'll play our command tower to get started. All right, opponents, what you got? They're playing Kotis, which actually is not a bad matchup, by the way. The only thing annoying about Kotis is he gets indestructible, so he cannot be destroyed. However, with High Perfect Morcant here, her -1/-1 ability will weaken him, or he will end up dying anyway. So that hopefully should be our way to get to victory. At least I hope so. All right, so Liz here, we will behold an elf. We will show off our assassin. Gets it down. Nice. We can't use her mana ability yet. We need to make sure we actually have an elf in the graveyard, but we'll see what we can do. Otherwise, the other thing with Kotis is it is also weak to sacrifice abilities. So here's hoping we can do this. Okay, ooh, Land of War Elves, that's good. So Swamp, and let's play our Land of War Elves. Opponent, got an answer? Maybe. Okay. And we will pass... Actually, no. We'll attack first. If our opponent has an answer, so be it. Oh. Okay, nice. We got the first hit in. First blood. Maybe I should make that into also a sound clip. I got to get more sound clips for my soundboard here. Note to self for that for the future. Maybe I can record that later today. Okay, Fable Passage. So our opponent's going to dig out a land. Looks like they're a little behind on land drops, which is good for us. That's what we want. That buys us time we're going to need to build up our plan. So we should be solid here. Okay, so with that, we'll play another forest. We can bring in the High Perfect Morcant now, but we're going to wait it out. I want to take out that Kotis, because that is going to be a pain once it hits the field. But we have options to get rid of it. Down to 20. All right, opponents. Bring it on. You're going to ask your sis to subscribe to me? Well, you are just an absolute wonderful person. But thanks again for that, Icy. Don't feel like you have to force her to subscribe, though. Only do it if she wants to. Only do it if she wants to. Okay, so this is what we came here for, everybody. So Mommy right now has come to play. High Perfect Morcant comes in, blights our opponent. So that means that it's a -1/-1 counter, and it dies.
That's rough, buddy.
You're telling me, Zuko. Oh, I have literally the perfect counter for their commander. So this is actually great for us, because every time I play against this one card, I always end up losing. So today, the tables have turned. Okay, opponents, what will you do? Do you dare bring in this card again? You have to pay a little bit more for it, though, so you have to pay 6 mana. So that is good for us. Okay, so we're pretty much in control of the game right now, so I think we'll just kind of hold off. We'll just get aggro here. Might as well. All right, down to 10. Our opponent is very close to the end now. If our opponent puts down Kotis, that's game over. Ooh, opponents. Okay. All right, so this is now where it's all over for our opponent. I feel a little bit dirty for this, but I don't really care. So here's how we do this. We will pay the 3 life because we can totally afford to. We will play Shaman of the Pact, drain out our opponents. They lose Kotis one more time by blighting. Gone. Drain them for 4. And there you go. Our opponent has had enough. Mommy gets what she wants. All right. All right. Yeah. Victory. All right. But there you go, everybody. That was the dream. Elf Mommy weakening our opponent's creatures, having no chance to recover at all. Beautiful, by the way. All right, and our first win of the day. First game, first win. All right, let's see if we can keep the good times rolling, everybody. Absolute peak? Yes, it is. So thanks again for that. So while we're loading up the next game, how's everyone's week been going so far? Those of you also that obviously, not everyone I know plays Magic day in, day out like I do, but how's your week been doing? What you been up to, everybody? Reading any new books? Watching any TV shows? What y'all been up to? Dan Splinit. Still thinking on how to make Dimir bounce fun. Maybe lean more into enchantments and eerie synergies in big boy sagas. That is true, though. Honestly, Dan Splinit, I think you should try to invest more in sagas. Because sagas will give you a lot of value if you can keep bouncing those back and forth. Especially the ones from Kamigawa that flip into creatures. You can get a couple of those. You should be able to get a creature that you can use and then maybe like bounce it away and then reuse it to then cast some more stuff. Or maybe you can make copies of your stuff. Try that. You should be able to get a ton of value that way. Cookie, accomplishing absolutely nothing all week. Hey, that's living the dream. I would love to see if I could just be like, you know what? I don't feel like doing much of anything. But sometimes I do envy that. It gets a little harder, though, when you get older. I will say that. Not to bring it down, but seriously. It does feel like when you get older, you just feel like you have less and less time for life in general. So these little moments here that I have with all of you today and live streams like this are what keep me going. So thanks again for always being there, everybody. I really do appreciate that. Okay, so let's see here. Let's play our Farseek / Newfound Adventure. We'll get out... We can get out any of our lands here, right? Okay, so let's get out a duel. Since it comes into play tapped anyway. We'll play our Swamp and go from there. Okay, opponent is playing Delina, Wild Mage from the Dungeons & Dragons set. That's cool. I haven't seen anybody play this, so we're going to deal with dice rolling. Okay, opponent takes out our creature. All right, opponent, I see that, I see that. Okay. It's fine. We have our own answer. Take out the boots. Destroy. Denied. Okay. Okay, opponent, what else you got? All right. Let's see here. IC3. Don't blame me, but what I do on the weekends is scripts on Roblox. You kids in your Roblox these days. I will say right now, I guess I'm just not a person that really kind of gets Roblox, but if you're playing something that makes you happy, hey, more power to you on that. Okay, bring in Mommy again. High Perfect Morcant coming in. Softening up Zorn. All right. And let's see. Do we want to do this now? We'll wait. We'll wait. So yeah, Mommy's on the field. If we can get the Iron Shield Elf out, we can then soften up our opponent some more. Okay, anything else, opponents? All right, nice. So, Twin Blade Assassins. This is going to be sweet here. Soften up our opponent some more. They'll probably blight their ogre. As I figured. And then here's what we do. All right, Mommy will now tap here. We then add counters by proliferating. Zorn is gone. And we get to draw a card. All right. Nice. Game plan is working. So Roblox is your game, IC3? Is that like your main game you play all the time? Cookie of Chaos. I don't get older. I'm immortal. You are immortal. Well, I mean, cookies never really age, if you will. So that tracks. Then Splinit. Room. The Mirror Room card that doubles any triggers could be hilarious, but hella greedy. I mean, it is, but hey, why not, man? Go for it. At least give it a shot in an arena and see how it works. And if it works, then yay. And if it doesn't work, hey, at least you tried. Okay, so from here, we'll then put down Iron Shield Elf. All right. Well, our deck is starting to do stuff, which is great. Opponents. Ooh, opponents got an answer here. They got a treasure and a signet. Nope. No, they don't. We blight them again. Oh, this deck is fun. Ooh, a braid. Okay. Well, do we care about this dying? Well, actually, we don't. That's okay. We're in control of the game anyway, so no big deal. All right. That still works for us. Big swing there. Down to 14. All right. We draw another card. Nice. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure I don't have to tell y'all, but Elves definitely continues to be just absolutely ridiculous. So there we go. All right. So from here, I think this time we will Vraska's Fall. Make our opponent lose the Solemn. So Sad Robot dies. They draw a card off of that, but they get a poison counter. So now we have our secondary backup plan. Cookie of Chaos. I used to like Roblox, but now there's just too many, PDFs. Ugh, yeah, I've heard bad stories about that. So anybody that does play Roblox, please be safe out there and be careful with who you talk to online. I know always... Growing up in my era, because I'm an old fireball, by the way, I was always told, like, never talk to strangers. And yet here we all are on the internet now where everyone talks to strangers in some way, shape, or form. But that's neither here nor there for now. You kind of get the idea of what I'm getting at, everybody. Any case, but yeah, that's your safety FYI for me today. So yeah, just be mindful out there, everybody. I don't want anybody out there to get hurt. Okay, Delina coming in, but this is more like a desperation move at this point. Opponent, I'm pretty sure you are out of options. Ooh, Valakut Array. Wow. Okay. Desperation move. Draw 2 cards. Did they get anything? A land. And that is game, everybody. We got another victory under our belt today. Yeah. All right. Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We're looking pretty good so far with this. I mean, it's 2 for 2, but I'll take it. A win is a win. Of course, I'm pretty sure I knew the moment I was building this deck. I had to figure, like, you know, elves, they ramp. We get lots of good creatures from it, even on a budget. So, High Perfect Morcant here, or is it Morsand? I still don't know, by the way. But either way, Elf Mommy is doing her thing, and she dominates. I love this card, by the way. Note to self, I gotta get a copy of it, maybe for an elf deck in the future. Okay. Dense Planet first, still keeping it as a bounce deck. What are the key X? Cards to keep in a deck list. That's a good question. I think the best way I would probably recommend for you, Dense Planet, is because the way I like to do it is I actually have an actual file that I have put together that I'm trying to keep up to date. I mean, it's a little outdated, by the way, where I keep a list of the core cards for any deck that I want to do. Like, for example, if I want to do a Goblin deck, I have at least half of the deck already done, where it's mostly like, you know, the lands, like a general idea of what lands I want to do if I'm in this color or that color. And then I'll try to interchange certain cards depending on what comes into my mind, what tickles my fancy, if you will. I know it sounds a little convoluted, but that kind of helps me keep track of like where things are. And I also try to use websites like, you know, if you want to use like Architect, because I have that listed on our Discord, or if you want to put cards like on websites like that, or like MTG Goldfish, put your list there, run it through to see what the stats are, and then kind of start tweaking things here and there using other reference points if you want to. But that's what I would recommend. At least that helps me keep track of what I build, and also gives me a good, decent list of what maybe I might have missed from other live streams. Any case, get the forest down. But yeah, use whatever you want. I would still at least say try to keep a list of stuff just to kind of help you stay consistent, and that's why you don't miss certain things. Ooh, Faithless Looting. Let's see, what are our opponents playing? Oh, they're playing the Reaper. King No More. Oh, we definitely have to play a deck around the Reaper. That's a really sweet card, by the way. I gotta get that card, by the way. So many good cards in this set. I love this set, by the way. Cookie, I always imagine you taking a bow every time you win. Well, maybe one of these days we might try to do an IRL stream, if you will, of me like doing maybe like a different game, but you actually might see me on an actual webcam. I don't know if you guys are interested in seeing that, but let me know. Oh, see, so for example, this is another card that I totally forgot exists. Nest of Scarabs. Oh man, this is actually an amazing card for our Blight deck. So this is something I would consider if I was to redo this. I can't believe I forgot that, by the way. Okay, no big deal though. We will play, what do we play here? Elf? Okay. So for this, we're going to wait it out for a second here. Nest of Scarabs is scary to fight against, but we have a Terror Asunder, so we can get rid of it. Okay, Faithless Looting. Okay. Opponents? IC3, you're a stranger, but I don't choose you as that. I choose you as the best YouTuber. Oh, well, thank you for that. You're so kind, by the way. I seriously do appreciate that, though. Okay, so Terror Asunder here. We cannot allow our opponent to go off with Nest of Scarabs. That can't be a thing. So that's got to go bye-bye forever. So exiled out of the game. Nice. Okay, so for now, Skemvar Elderhound tapped, so can't really do anything yet. Actually, we'll wait. I need to teach myself to slow down. I have a bad habit sometimes of getting a little too aggressive, and I've realized, looking back at my previous live streams, I sometimes end up losing a lot because I get a little too eager. So I'll try to slow it down. We got to play more methodically to stop our opponents. It's okay. Good things come to those who come. Or good things come to those who wait, I should say. Demolition Field. All right. Still nothing yet. It's anybody's game. Cookie saying, I'm a stranger, but I kidnap people I meet online, so it's okay. You can't say that! Spicy, by the way. But I obviously know you are joking, Cookie. You gotta be careful. Some weird people hear stuff online and take you out of context. Imagine that. Someone would be like out of context Cookie there saying very spicy, inappropriate stuff. Okay, Swamp. Okay. Our opponent still hasn't played their Reaper, but I'm pretty sure they're anticipating we have removal. So, okay. We'll just wait it out, everybody. I know. It's not a very exciting game yet, but we'll hopefully get some action going soon. Our opponent has to. They have to play something sooner or later. We're going to go on forever. All right, come on, opponents. Oh, you've said worse? You spicy little cookie. Can't believe that. Okay, so before they do anything else here, Vraska's fall. So Reaper King goes bye-bye, and they get a poison counter. All right. Nice. So that's what we wanted so far. Reaper King comes down again. That's actually not a big deal for us, because now we can start doing our thing. So here's how we do this. We will play Binding the Old Gods. Talk about saying Reaper King no more. Thank you. Arcane Signets. Okay. Now we can slowly start building up our game plan here. Hopefully. Dense Limit. I remember it's a spell class. 2 bounce spells, a B rank, B sticks, and the town spells. But there's also something else I forgot. Oh, okay. I would love to help you figure it out right now, but because I'm in the middle of a game, I can't really fathom in my brain right now, Dense Limit, the card. Oh man, there's just so many cards right now. It's just so hard for me to kind of remember stuff. But I totally know what card you're talking about. So until then, we'll see if we can help you out in a bit. All right, bringing in Mommy again. She coming down, weakening the Reaper King, or I should say the Reaper King no more. We'll then bring down Eclipsed Elf. All right, nice. Softening them up again. Let's see, what do we want here? We'll get Champions of the Perfect. That actually looks pretty good. Okay. So from here, okay, whenever a creature an opponent controls with the one, you put that card on the battlefield near your turn. Okay, so the Reaper, that can be a hard card to deal with after a certain point. Season of Gathering. Okay. Okay, so they got rid of their counters. Annoying, but not a big deal. We can find a way to get around that. Flames of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. Hello, friendo. Hello, my fire friend. How you doing today? Hopefully having a wonderful day wherever you're at. And thanks again for joining us today. Okay. Opponent, however, found a way to get around our elf mommy here. No, totally not annoying, but that's okay. It's okay. They take the first hit, though. Cookie-chan, I'm in my dark and evil mind black mana that looks like white mana. Oh, you are being so devious right now. Hilarious, though. Okay. IC3, me and Cookie are the only ones supporting you because you are creative and very nice. I mean, well, oh, okay, hold on. Okay, we're going to pause here for a second, everybody. So IC3, I get what you're saying, but don't worry. Like, everyone else that's popping in and here and there, I mean, I get that some of you like to say hi and like to lurk and everything, so don't think of it as, you know, you two are the only ones supporting me. I appreciate you guys supporting me in the chat, but even if you're not chatting directly with me constantly, and maybe you did pop into the chat, or maybe you're lurking, that's fine. It's okay. All of us, you know, I appreciate your support, even if you just say hi, or if you're just watching just out on the stream. So thank you again, no matter how it looks. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta play. All right. Oop, don't want to fall too behind. So we take off their counter. All right, so that counters it out, and then we'll play Tireless Provisioner. Soften them up again. All right. We will tap here. Proliferate. That puts also a poison counter on them, so that's good. Flames of Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon. How are you doing, friend? I'm doing great, by the way. I'm jumping into our latest set here in Magic, and this is actually a great set, by the way. I love Lorwyn right now because I'm big on creature-style decks. I love decks that focus on like a creature type and strategies around that. Although I'm not usually an elf player, I love goblins, by the way, and we have a goblin deck that I really want to talk about now, but we'll talk about that once the time comes. So, yes. Oh, yeah, it's not from Discord? Yeah. Thanks again for clearing that up, and thanks again for that. Then Splendid, it was Boomerang Basics. Oh, that's the card you were talking about, and this town ain't big enough. Those were the cards. Wait. What just happened? Did our opponent just totally blow away our whole game plan? Oh, jeez. All right, that's fine. Sephiroth doing Sephiroth things. But okay. Classic Chaos Hours. Yes, it is. Right now... Okay. So they flip Sephiroth. Okay. So how do we get out of this? Our opponent managed to turn the tables on us quite a bit here. Mommy is, she's not looking too good right now. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, our opponent had a huge turn right there. Now we're not looking as hot. We'll try, though. We'll see if we can try to turn this around. Okay. I want to see if we can turn this around. Okay, we blight our opponent again. Do they put it on the Provisioner? I figured. Devoted Druid. Coming in. Soften up something again. Does it go back to Sephiroth? Oh, okay. Okay, they drain us again. Okay. Okay. Can we get around a Sephiroth that's flipped? We'll find out here in a bit, everybody. I found my new commander, Sig from OG Lorwyn. Oh, that's a classic, by the way. Nice, though. Really awesome card. I know there are some people that love Sig. We're going to see if we can try to do a Sig Merfolk deck down the line. We definitely have to hit at least every one of the creature types in Lorwyn. But hopefully have fun with them. Okay, so Reaper King. Trying to weaken us out here. It's annoying, but that's okay. We still have time, everybody. It's not too late for us to turn this game around. So here's how we do this. Ooh, Kalissa here. That actually is a really solid card for us. Kalissa, Sunslayer. Nice. So we blight again. Alright, and then from here, we will make a copy of an elf, destroy a creature. So we will copy here, and I guess we just destroy the Reaper King just to guarantee we get it off the field. Nice. Okay. Okay, Sephiroth will do its thing, which is still annoying. Drain, drain, drain. Blight. We then tap. Tap 3 elves. Give them another poison counter. And then... Is there anything else we can do here? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, hold on. Put a counter on it. Oh, it's still... Oh, never mind here. I was trying to see if I can try to get this to go... No, it won't work. Okay. Well, I messed that up. I was thinking this was not Summoning Sickness, and I could untap it for mana, and then I was going to play Champion of the Perfect. Okay, that didn't work out. I'm foolish. -4 counters on it. Ugh. Well, Sephiroth is still weak. Very weak. Down to 5. All right. I don't know. We're at 37 life. That's when there are also new Saga creatures from the Avatar set from Mewtwo vs. Beyond. It was Sozin and the one I forgot already. Okay. Opponent puts us down to 2. So, oh geez. So that means if we kill Sephiroth here, we lose, don't we? Okay, so how do we get around this? Is there a way around this? Is there any life gain we have? No, there isn't. Oh, man. Okay, well, I was hoping we were going to try to find a way around this, but I don't think there is. No matter what we do, we lose, right? Because even if I do this, Sephiroth dies. Can't blight anything, but they drain us here on spot. Yeah. Dang. Wow. Our first L, but dang, our opponent managed to outdo us with -1/-1 counters and life gain. Okay, well, color me surprised. But it is what it is, everybody. Not a big deal. Let's see if we can get in at least one more budget game, and then we'll upgrade the deck and see how we can go all out with it if we really want to do this. Okay, so let's get our next one going here. All right, so while we're loading this up, and I want to make sure everyone that is here. All right, let's go ahead. Let's do this here. Sorry, everybody. So, mumbling to myself here while I'm trying to like look at a couple things. But okay, I think we should be good now. All right, so let's lock it in.
It's time to
Yeah, all right. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So we got Revitalizing Repass here. We got plenty of lands, Deadly Brew for sacrificing, Infectious Inquiry for poison, and Incubation Druid. Okay, I think we should be good here. Incubation Druid, if we can get this one counter on it, should be solid. So Forest first. And let's go. Let's see if we can do this. I know we can do this. Okay, Blood Crypt. Our opponent's playing, ooh, Firelord Azula. Okay. Azula is scary. But, okay, we will tackle her just the same. Let's play the Incubation Druid. Alright. So I think the best way we'll do this is Elvish Mystic, Revitalizing Repass on the Incubation Druid to get us 3 mana we need instantly. Okay, good. We got a Forest. So with that, let's play the Forest. Put a counter on this. Nice. So now this taps for a ton of mana. And that means Mommy comes in fast. Wait, what did I say? Don't quote me right now. I know what I said. I know what I said. And then Elvish Mystic. Coming in. All right. Firebending Student is down. Nice. That was kind of like a mini Dark Ritual, kind of. That worked out. Then split it. We need to see through all possible sagas available in blue and black and see if there's any I can use. I'm sure there's something you can use. There's definitely something you definitely can use. All right, so from here, we're in pretty good control right now. Poison Tip Archer is going to come down. So now I have a way of slowing stuff down if we need to. Okay, so from here, let's just start swinging. Let's get some damage in. Solstice Revelation, okay, for 1. I don't think they'll do... Okay. Down to 19. That's... Sozin's Comet's a little scary, but that's still a ways away. They need 5 mana for that. So, let's see. Does Azula come in now? Okay, they foretell. Okay, well, for now, let us... Okay, well, I guess we're just going to swing. Not much else we could really do at this point. It's just us just doing damage. Opponent. Throw a possibility. Okay. They discard a card. Toss another card. Down to 11. Alright, so... We'll save things for now. Okay. Okay. Opponent hasn't been playing much of anything. We need to use the Infectious Inquiry, but I also want to wait for a moment here to see what else they might throw at us. Azula on the hunt, okay. That's cute. So from here... Let's see. Okay, we will then sacrifice Elvish Mystic. That triggers off the Poison Tip Archer, so that's 2 life gone. Unclaimed territory. On Elf, we will draw 2. We'll lose 2 life. Get our opponent poison. Aw, opponents! Okay, well, looks like they had enough. Okay, I guess we'll take that. Nice! Very nice, okay. Another victory for us for the deck, everybody. All right, we're looking good today. Elf Mommy doing it. She puts in work. But okay, now that we're about to hit the halfway point of the stream, I think now's the time for us to actually upgrade this deck. We're feeling pretty good about this one. I like how this deck works. Obviously not as streamlined as I'd like it because I realized I missed out on quite a few -1/-1 counter cards. But so far, despite my own inability to streamline deck building, I think the deck works pretty well as is. But what if we take the deck to the next level? So that's where this is going to be now a much more stronger build going into it. So with this version of Elf Mommy, we really started pumping up a lot more into having a better investment with our mana base, get some much more stronger elf cards that could really beef us up a ton. Dense Planet. Well, bounce decks utilize permanents that discard cards to inflict Thoughtseize levels of mental damage. and definitely sacrificing other not so nice cards you can do. Oh, I mean, you're obviously already playing blue and black, so those are definitely colors that you're going to definitely make a lot of people very, very salty with. I'm sure you can come up with something. But let me know what you come up with, and I'll see what I can kind of look at, because I kind of want to steal part of what you did earlier with the bounce stuff, now that we actually have fairies again from Lorwyn. Maybe we can do something with fairies in another live stream coming up. But until then, here's now going to be the upgrade of the deck for us, everybody. So this is actually now if Mommy really wanted to have us go all out. So with this one here, we're going to utilize some more powerful cards like Allosaur Shepherd here. So this makes sure our not only can this spell not be countered, but green spells we control can't be countered. So this is going to be very helpful for us to protect ourselves against control decks. Obviously, we haven't encountered any yet, but this is actually a pretty solid card for us overall. In terms of other upgrades to the deck here, let's see. Oh, yeah, we'll have Deathrite Shaman, another classic elf for us, and a great graveyard hating card here. So this can exile instants, sorceries, creature cards, lands, and we can convert that into resources we can use to drain our opponent, to gain life, or to maybe to add some mana to our mana base. For upgrades into the 2-drop slot here that can help us out here, besides what we've already added, we'll throw an Innkeeper's Talent. So at the beginning of combat, we can put +1/+1 counters on creatures we control. So if we say like we're having to deal with Blight or dealing with stuff where we have to put -1/-1 counters on our stuff, little by little, this can counter them out and hopefully start beefing up our game plan here. The only interesting part about this card that's kind of hilarious is its secondary ability allows us to give all of our permanents we control with counters on them Ward 1. Even if they have -1/-1 counters, this actually will protect them just the same. And of course, the final part here is anytime we will put 1 or more counters on a permanent or a player, we get to double it up. So this with Mommy here will then put 2 -1/-1 counters on a creature. That's actually really, really nasty, by the way. So Innkeeper's Talent, excellent card for an upgrade. Other upgrades to the deck that would help us out here, Elvish Clancaller. So we're going to kind of start rolling into a more traditional style of elf deck where we're going to put a lot of lords in there, pumping up all of our elves. The elves, once they get pumped up, won't be able to sponge hits a lot easier for us because, again, we can take more -1/-1 counters. So Elvish Clancaller, pretty good. Not the best one, but it is a 2-drop lord, so that's good for us. Speaking of 2-drop lords, Leafcrown Visionary, excellent for the deck. Anytime we cast an elf spell, we just pay 1 extra green to draw more cards. Now, this one right here is going to be also an absolutely nasty, nasty card here. Rofellows here will tap for green for each forest we control. We actually played this one during Christmas time, and this card, again, was absolutely stupid. It's so broken that if you actually build this deck in paper, fair warning right now, this card is actually banned in Paper Commander. So if you actually want to build this deck and upgrade it, you won't be able to add this card in. It's not allowed. And you can obviously see why. It's so good. It's really, really good. But for Brawl, if they allow us to do it, we're definitely going to play this card, so we have to rock this card. But just FYI for the future. In terms of helping us out here with Wrathing here, we now use the Meat Hook Massacre. So this is another card for us to then make everything on the field -X until end of turn. Anytime a creature an opponent controls dies, they will lose 1 life. Anytime an opponent we control dies, we gain 1 life. So this helps us with life gain and drain, along with cards like Bastion of Remembrance. So that's why we have it in the deck. Dense Minutes. Definitely need to go XL library size 3 to fit everything in it. aka it's a Yori on time. Oh man, that sounds like such a huge deck. Have fun if you ever manage to put that together in paper. Have fun shuffling that. That's gonna be hilarious. Okay, where was I at? Oh yeah, that's right. So continuing on here, we'll then add in some more cards here that are going to help us out with Formidable Speaker. When this elf enters, we discard a card, and then this helps us dig out any creature card and put it into our hand. So this is a perfect, nice little card to just discard what we don't need and add in what we do want. Great there. Marwyn the Nurturer. Anytime an elf we control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on Marwyn, and she will add more green mana equal to her power. So she will give us a ton of ramp once the game plan goes off. Nissa here, Desparked Resurgent Animist here, has Landfall. Anytime a land we control enters, you can add 1 extra mana of any color. If you can do this a second time, however, reveal cards to the top of your library until you get an elf or elemental card. So this card can help us just, again, churn through our deck to get us more elves into our hand. Let's see. Other upgrades for us. Elvish Archdruid here gives all of our elves +1/+1 and also an extra green mana for each elf we control. So again, just helps us get stronger. Tyvar here, also another amazing card for us. This elf warrior allows us to tap itself to give it indestructible to protect ourselves. However, its ability gives all of our creatures +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures we control. Amazing card, by the way, and really, really strong overall. Circle the Dreams Druid adds for us green mana for every creature we control. We'll throw in, let's see, what else were we missing here that I didn't mention earlier. So that should be it for the 3 drops. For the 4 drops, our upgrades here, Canopy Tactician. You'll notice that a lot of our elves now can generate a ton of mana. If it's one thing that elves can do best is really, really ramp once we get everything going. Champions, perfect. Wait, no, we already talked about that. Oh yeah, Tyvar Kell here. So this is one of our few planeswalkers for the upgraded deck. Tyvar Kell in this form is 4 mana, 4 loyalty, and it gives all of our elves tapping for black mana. And then you can then tick up to then put +1/+1 counters on a creature, untap the elf, give it death touch until end of turn, or you can start generating elf warrior creature tokens. So that's actually good for us. We usually don't care about the -7 ability, but if we can get it to go off, it gives us an insane amount of card draw once we actually get it going on. Cookie of Chaos, back. Oh, do you mind if I send you my pet deck over Discord? Yeah, you can totally do that, by the way. And that goes for everybody out there right now. For those of you that are enjoying the content and you do like what we do, if you haven't already done so already, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you watch the content so you don't miss out on any of the gameplay, booster pack openings, deck techs, and so much more. As you already know, we are trying to do these live streams at least 2 times a week, so that way you guys can enjoy me playing live with random deck techs that I put together. We try to, of course, create at least 1 YouTube video a week to show you off, again, the latest deck techs, and sometimes I put out there some tips, tricks, and advice for you guys. And of course, we'll sprinkle here and there some extra little shorts of some live gameplay footage, replays, sometimes meme content, whatever you guys may enjoy. If you do want to, again, just follow the links that will be located in the details of this live stream or on my main channel below. Your support will help keep this channel going. So thank you everybody for being here today. All right, enough of my shilling. Let's go ahead. Let's continue on. So let's see. We'll throw in Herald Unites the Elves. 4 mana Saga here. You mill 5 cards, then put an elf card or a Tyvar card from the graveyard that we put in there onto the battlefield. Put some counters on each elf we control as a secondary ability, and then whenever an elf we control attacks, target creature and opponent controls will get -1/-1 until end of turn. So we can soften them up a ton, by the way. We'll throw in the classic elf commander here, Lathril Blade of the Elves. So if you actually want to go more of a wide strategy with elves, throw in Lathril instead as your commander, but Elf Mommy works just the same. They're all really good cards. They also all benefit from having a ton of elves on the battlefield. Anytime you deal combat damage with Lathril, put that many tokens that are elf warriors onto the battlefield. And then Lathril's ability can be a game ender. You tap her and 10 untapped elves we control to drain your opponent for 10 life, and you gain 10 life. So that can be a big swing to turn any game back into our favor. And then we'll also throw in here Selfless Safe right here. So Flash and Convoke. This is a 4/2 elf warrior that when it enters, choose a creature type, which will be elves, and then other the permanents we control of that type will gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So this is one of our protection spells. If we tap down a bunch of our elves, this can help us make sure that we don't get blown up out of nowhere. Great card, by the way. And then finally, to round out our package here for upgrades, obviously upgrade your mana base. If nothing else, upgrade the mana base before you even talk about any of the elf cards we put in here. So from here, upgrades Beseiju, who endures for our non-basic land hate, artifacts or enchantments. We'll throw in, of course, all the rare duels we could muster up: Bluing Marsh, Darkborth Pathway, Deathcap Glade, Land of War Wastes, Nurturing Peatland, Overgrown Tomb, Underground Mortuary, Wastewood Verge, Woodland Cemetery, Caverns to make all of our creatures uncounterable. And then we'll throw in, for other upgrades here, some better fetch lands such as Fable Passage here, Prismatic Vista, Fountain Port to then draw some more cards off of our tokens. We'll throw in, finally, Verdant Catacombs as our real fetch land to help us with our package. And that is now the upgraded deck, everybody. Woo! So happy that we can actually get this to go off today. I'm super jazzed right now to see how well this upgraded deck does, everybody. So let's take this into the Brawl format once again, and let's see what happens when Mommy gets a little bit more oomph behind her. Wait, did I say that right? That didn't sound weird, did it? Forget what I said. Any case. Moving on. Dense One. In terms of life, actually, got to go through the courses on quality assurance. Nice. Nice. So glad that's working out for you. Are you adjusting well to your to the QA role? Hopefully they're also treating you well on training. Okay. All right, getting this ready here. Let me get also a swig because I realize I've been talking a lot and I'm feeling a little parched. Woo! Much better. Okay, breathing it out. Okay, let's see here. So we got the Incubation Druid that can help us with ramping really quickly here. Meat Hook Massacre for removal. Whisper of the Dross. Okay, this looks pretty good. If we can get at least one more land, this will be perfect. So for now, Pathway. Okay, opponents,
Bring it on. Show me what you got. They're playing Lathril, by the way. Whoa. We also got our own Lathril. Okay. This will be interesting. So, elves versus elves. The old versus the new. Which will be better? Wastewood Verge. Okay. Perfect. So, Incubation Druid coming in. I can see our opponent is a really big fan of elves, though, because they also got the anime sleeves for their cards. They got the Nissa here. Although what's hilarious is I've talked about... actually, I realize I haven't talked about this. Wait. Her body looks a little contortioned here in a way that looks a little funky, but I guess that works. Okay. Either case. Still cool art, by the way. Not hating, by the way. Okay, so... we'll throw in an Incubation Druid. Nice. So from here, once again, we get to do it. Elf Mommy coming in. Say goodbye to Abomination of Llanowar. So what say you that?
That's rough, buddy.
Denied. Okay. That's what... sorry, I mean as if I'm reading and watching online courses while also taking important... oh, okay. I misread you there, my fire friend. Apologize for that. But okay. Well, again, hopefully it's a smooth process for you either way. Hopefully it goes well for you. Okay, so for here, we'll play Tyvar.
Of course, I'm here a material.
Okay, so with that... alright.
They will remember our name.
Alright, soften her up. And let's see here. I think we'll pass here. So, Lathril won't get a chance to do much of anything if she can't swing with a big hit. But fortunately, we also have a lot of options here. Diana's... oh, that's another elf we've missed. See? I missed out on a lot of elves. There's so many elves now that you can really build your deck in a lot of ways. But we'll talk about that at the end of the stream. Okay. Opponent? Okay. I mean, they still will lose here. So, Whisper of the Dross. Okay. We get to proliferate. Okay. Creature down. Lathril goes bye-bye. Nice. So with that, we will Vat of Rebirth. We will play our own Lathril. Alright, Dionys gets counters. Nice. And then let's see here. What else do we want to do? Make another Elf Warrior. Blight again. Nice. And a possible QA game tester. Okay. Nice. Well, funny fact for you. I think we mentioned this before, Densplinit. I actually did do video game testing before. So if you're curious about that, it's a fun thing to do. But I will definitely say right now, pace yourself when it comes to that. Because I've learned from personal experience, game testing can be fun, but it can be very draining. Make sure to also stay away from your monitor when you can. Just that way you have the time to actually take a moment to, gather yourself from the screen. I ended up getting a little bit of an eye issue when I actually was doing it. Just an FYI. Okay. All right, so Tyvar here. Okay, our opponent is literally just cloning what we're doing here, but I think we're going to have the edge. I think, in my opinion, I love Lathril. We've played her before, but High Perfect Morcant here, Elf Mommy, does a lot more. And she also is a nice type of spot removal. But so far, so good here. All right, let's do this now. We came here to do some elf shenanigans, everybody. So with that, make a copy, destroy the elf. We will copy Incubation Druid. Destroy the elf. Oh, this is some fun. Blight away. And there you go. Our opponent has had enough. Elf Mommy overdoing it over the classic Lathril here to get the victory. Yeah. All right. Oh, man. Love it. Love it. Woo. All right. Once again, she doing numbers. She making it work. So let's keep it going. All right. Okay. Still trying to gather my thoughts here. So overall, feeling pretty good about this one. Feeling really good about this deck today. Okay, looks like we're facing off against the Reaper King No More once more. No problem. GG's. Thanks again for that. Let's see. If possible, take a QA game tester, but take it slow and steady. Let me get the fundamentals on quality assurance. Okay, so with that, hopefully, again, it does go well for you. Compliance, quality assurance testing, QA testing is, again, it's fun. For those that don't know, game testing, I know from some people always kind of get the hint that game testing is just like you literally just play the game and don't do anything else. You actually do need to look for stuff in it, because the whole point of game testing, and again, coming from a person who used to do it, you're gonna have to really have a good eye for detail. It's really important to have that. Because if you don't have an eye for detail, it's gonna be very hard for you to actually thrive in that. Just as an FYI. And that's not me just directing it at you, Densplendid. I mean, like, anybody that kind of does quality assurance testing. Okay, Prismatic Vista. We'll play Glissa. Wait, hold on. Prismatic Vista. We sack there. We will put out a forest. We'll play Glissa. Exile a land. Exile our own Prismatic Vista, so this is good. If our opponent has an option right now, now's their time to do it. Nope. Okay. I anticipate our opponent has to have some kind of removal, because they already have swamps out, so rather than try to risk the Swiftfoot boots, we will instead get a swamp to play it safe. Okay, opponents. Wait for it. Wait for it. Come on, opponent. I know you have something in hand. Assassin's Trophy, yep. So that was the reason why we did not use that extra mana from Deathrite Shaman to put the boots on there. That would have just been a fumble there. But at least we get a free land. So I'll take that. That's not too bad. Okay. So if our opponent could tap out, which I hope they do, that means Morcant can come in, and hopefully we can start doing our thing. Okay, so here comes the king. Okay, so -1/-1 counter, which is annoying, but not the worst for us. Okay. Nice. We will then protect Mommy with some boots. Swing with her. Down to 20. Cookie saying, hey, game dev, my computer caught on fire. Is that supposed to happen? I'll be honest, though. When I would send reports to sometimes the devs, when I would find stuff for some of the games I did test, let's just say sometimes they're like, and this is the only annoying part, sometimes they're just like, we'll patch that in the future. So then it feels like you don't really, it's not helping you as much, which can be a little annoying. Okay, so from here, all right, ooh, Pollen Bright Druid, that's actually good for us. So from here, Gallic Raiders first off. All right, what will our opponent put counters on? Here we go. Okay, here we go. We will proliferate. And we'll make a, let's see, what do we want here? Blight. Count on the creature. Proliferate. Nice. All right, and we then tap all three of our elves. Reaper King is gone. Oh, wait, actually not yet. Ooh. He still has at least one more counter. He has lifelink too. Okay. So. We still get rid of him, though. Densplendid. Honestly, I had to turn down the dialogue volume because Sparky won't stop talking after every match. We're just getting into the game. Okay. I turned off Sparky at a point because I was just like kind of tired of hearing Sparky. Okay. We're down to 2 cards. Oh, already? Okay. Yay? I guess our opponents had enough there. Okay. Oh well. A win's a win still. I will take them. So how many wins are we up to today? Okay. Looks like we're at 5 wins because we had 0 dailies done when we started today. So 5 wins overall. 1 actual loss. But so far, even with the snap concedes, we've actually had some legitimate victories today. So I'm actually feeling pretty good about how the deck feels. But, oh, opponent's playing Eldrazi. Ooh, 5-color Eldrazi. Ugh, this might be a rough one for us. We're going to try. We will try. Had to turn the sound off because the Planeswalkers won't shut up. Oh, yes. Some of them are hilarious with their dialogue. And then some of them, it's just like, okay, I've heard you enough. You don't have to be snarky every time. Sometimes I swear they did the dialogue for the Planeswalkers in a way they kind of feel like, what does it sound like? Sometimes they talk like Marvel characters, like from the sets. Am I wrong for that? I'm not hating on that, but sometimes it feels like it fits certain characters, and some characters it doesn't fit at all. At least that's how I feel. Okay, Burning Catacombs, so we got our fetch off. We will get out the Mortuary. All right, we Surveil. Ooh, Poison Tip Archer is not bad, but I don't know if we're going to need that yet. We'll put it down for now. We need to make sure we can actually draw into land. We need lands, or at least we need to get to our other creatures here. Okay, shock ourselves. Arcane Signets. We will play Vat of Rebirth. All right, so slowly but surely building up our plan. You love the Eldrazi. That's right. You do. But our opponent looks like they're playing a colorless. I mean, they're playing 5 colors, but also colorless. Very interesting deck. Not an easy one to build, by the way. It can get very tricky. Okay, so how do we want to do this here? I think Tireless Provisioner. Tapped. Make a mana. Make a treasure, I see. All right. So this board is set. So once we start getting down our mommy once again, we should be able to start getting everything going. Ooh. Glaring Fleshraker. Makes another token. Ugh. Whenever this creature attacks, they have to exile 2 permanents. Oh. Oh no. That's not good. Okay, so is there a way out of this? That cloud played. We'll make another treasure off of that. I mean, keep dialogue on for Liliana for reasons. I know you got your soft spots for your characters. Ain't no shame in that. We all have our characters we like. Okay, here comes Mommy coming in. What are we gonna soften up? Bala Bane Banageld. Palladium here. Okay, so they take out their own Eldrazi there. That's fine. Actually, let's play. Hold on. Oh, no, Leaf Crown Visionary. So Vat of Rebirth does trigger off of that. Alright. Blight something. We Whisper of the Dross. Hold on. Actually. Tap. That pumps up the Vat of Rebirth too, which is nice. Palladium Mirrors now slows down their game plan. When this creature attacks, defending player exiles 2 permanents. Okay. How do we get out of this? The Bane of Bala Ged is going to be our biggest threat right now, because that thing will swing like it will right now. We have to lose 2 things. Okay. That's 1. Might have to be the Vat of Rebirth. Yeah, we'll lose the Vat. I didn't want to lose the Vat, but small price to pay for now. Ooh, we're down to 8 already. Yikes. I keep forgetting that those Fleshrakers are going to keep pinging away at us. Jeez, it's so frustrating to deal with this. Okay, well. Herald. Okay. Decline for now. We can keep blighting, but those stupid tokens are just going to be a pain for us. Let's see, how much do we have? Okay. We can only afford the Land of War Elves. Okay, so they will weaken their own spawns. Oh, actually they don't. Okay, interesting. Okay, and then decline. Alright, blight again. Yeah, that trigger alone is what's going to hurt us a ton. So we'll see if we can try to get around it. It only uses a sorcery speed, so I guess we'll have to do this now. Leaf Crown, Llanowar, Tireless Provisioner. Yeah. Okay. Proliferate. So Bala can swing, but they will lose it. So we gotta see if we can just get around that. If we can get around that, this one card here, then we can hopefully survive. But we're not doing too hot because of that stupid Flesh Raker. Down to 5. Okay. Is that it? Devour Destiny. Oh, jeez. This might be game. That's game. Okay. Down to 3. Opponents. They swing. Soften that up as much as I can before I completely lose it. It's a 3-1. So from here, lose... Oh, this feels so bad. Okay, Arcane Signets, Llanowar Elves. Ugh. We take it out, but we lost way too much to recover. So at this point, I don't even know if we're going to be able to pull this off here. We'll try. Okay, so we will make a treasure token again. And Mommy coming in. But it might be too little too late. Yeah, Flesh Raker is a really good card. I mean, obviously, there really wasn't much we can do. Even if we don't do a single thing, it'll just keep making more of those tokens, and we'll just lose. I'll just give it this final turn. Ideally, if we had the Bastard of Remembrance in for a little bit, that would have helped out a smidge, but not much because... Oh, yeah. Alright. Okay, opponent. Fine. Fine. I guess we lose. That's colorless decks for you, everybody. They either don't do anything, or they go absolutely bonkers. I mean, I guess I shouldn't talk. I have a colorless deck myself literally sitting on my shelf. But that's how it goes. Dang. Talk about completely destroying us. I guess you could say the Eldrazi annihilated us. Huh? Huh? Ah, you guys love those jokes. Okay. Alright, it's okay. We've only taken 2 losses today, realistically, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, nice try. It's okay. I ain't gonna be too mad about it because, again, we've been doing very well overall today, so I've been pretty satisfied with how the deck feels. So I'm definitely liking what we're doing. Okay, so our opponent is playing Bayo. I haven't actually had a chance to play with this card yet. I know it came from the Spider-Man set, but it actually is a good card. We cannot deny that. It's a good card. Okay, Elvish Mystic. So, this hand looks like a very, very rampy hand. We might be able to outdo our opponent here pretty quick. Let's just see if we can make this work. So, Bird of Catacombs. Sacking. We will get out... We need triple green, don't we? Alright, we do. Llanowar Tribe. Alright. So now we have tons of mana. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's hilarious. Okay, Incubation Druid. That's cool too. Okay, Mortuary. Okay. Surveil. Maybe. Okay. Elvish Clanker. We'll keep that on top. And... Signet. Still new to the game, but what was the Eldrazi Winter deck? I need lore. So Eldrazi Winter, I believe was... this is something I feel like I can't remember too well. But from what I recall, Eldrazi Winter was probably like about 12, 13 years ago. The whole thought process was that the Eldrazi at the time that were there, like you had it in the format like Kozilek and Ulamog. So like the ones you just saw right now, like that Ulamog that just was cast and was just blowing stuff up and exiling like no big deal, that was just destroying everything. And actually, at the time, from what I heard from players, that wasn't a very fun meta at the time. It was just so ridiculous. At least that's from what I understood. So it was a rough season. Okay, Elvish Clan Caller there. Incubation Druid. Alright. We're doing it. Bayo's not going to have a chance here. Pump up the team. Bayo is down. All right. Vic, we're going to get this one off pretty quick here. I mean, sure, you can do damage, opponent, but we don't really care. So, I'm going to keep up mana for one reason. On the off chance they actually have a Wrath, I can protect our game plan with Selfless Safe Right. So that's the reason why we're going to hold up for just a smidge. Because red still can blow us away. We just got to not get too full of ourselves here. Okay. Phew. So far so good. So with that, let's adapt 3. Nice. Okay. So from here, we will swing with Morcant here. Just mommy. Got to make sure you got to keep that mana open. Fist of Flame. Okay. I guess your opponent's just desperate to draw now. Down to 19. Oh, we had Lathril right now. This would be hilarious. But then, Splendid, now that you bring that up, maybe I might do that into a YouTube short. Maybe I'll just do a quick little story time. And I think that's something else I want to start doing too now. I love doing my memes content, but I also want to start doing like more stuff that more players might actually be interested in, such as quick little 1-minute stories of like lore, like what was Eldrazi Winter, or what was it like playing during Standard when War of the Spark came out, or things like that. If you guys like that stuff, maybe we can start incorporating more lore things, or like who is like the story of Chandra in like 2-3 minutes, something cool like that. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we do have now Blasphemous Act in Brawl. It is there. Okay, nice and slow here. Still anticipating our opponent has something to stop us. But I'm guessing with Fist of Flames and Bayo. Okay, so they do throw away something there. Drawing some cards. They are making treasure to build up their mana. Still waiting to see if they got an answer. If I was mono red, and I've played mono red enough, most likely mono red has to have something. So we got to anticipate that now. So that's what it was. Wow, they had Insurrection? Okay. Wait, does this help us? Selfless Safe Right. So we get Hexproof and Indestructible, but... Oh. That actually gets around it, doesn't it? Because even if I do this... Selfless Safe Right. Yeah, that doesn't do anything, does it? I can protect all of our elves, but our opponent still takes them anyway. See? Wow. So our opponent didn't have a Wrath. They had the one spell that red has that gets around protecting Wraths. I can't believe that. I just actually got completely wrecked. I'm speechless. Wow. Okay. Can't believe that. I actually got beat by an Insurrection in Arena. 2026, no doubt. What a time to be alive. Okay. I feel like I should highlight that one for a reel. I think I'll probably put that in. I gotta start doing also more reels where I end up getting like completely blown out in the weirdest ways. Maybe people will see that. But okay, you know what? That's fine. I ain't even gonna be mad about that one. Our opponent had the one card in hand that was able to actually stop us. So, well done, opponents. I've only managed to get off one Insurrection ever since that card came out. It is hilarious when you can get the card to go off, but as you can see, it's such an easy way to kind of turn the tables on any opponent, so it can be a gnarly one. And I guess now looking back at the game, maybe I could have won earlier if I wasn't so conservative. I mean, I was just expecting a Wrath. I really was. That's why I didn't want to play anything. Oh well. It is what it is. No big deal. Alright, looks like I guess we're just playing against the Reaper all day. Don't fear the Reaper, as some people would say. Huh? Huh? Maybe you kids are too young for that one. Okay, Nurturing Peatland. We will play Paradise Druid. It has its own built-in protection, which is nice. So that means it can't get blown away just yet. Let's see. We'll play it. We have Leaf Crown Visionary. That's good too. But we also have... Our mommy can also come in on turn 3. We have options here. We have options. A Curse Marauder. Oh. Toots. Okay. So they make a sacrifice there. That's annoying. Stalactite Stalker will be able to swing. We go down to 23, so still even. Opponent puts a counter on it. Let's see. We'll play the Beseiju. And then I think this time we'll play Bastion of Remembrance. Bastion coming down. We make a human. A human. Has nothing to do with the elf game plan, but hey, it's free. We'll take the human. Innkeeper's Talent. Ooh, okay. Opponent's also going with counters. That's cute. Let's see. Dense Planet. My way of dealing with alchemy is just simple, really, idea. We steal it. I mean, that's true. You can totally do that. That's an option. Let's see. Elf. Let's see here. What do we want? Let's see. Well, I guess we'll do it now. Gotta find a way to slow down our opponent here with Stalactite Stalker. Not a card I see too often, but... Okay. Is what it is. Okay, Blight to counter their one little counter. Counter their counter, if you will. Okay, no attacks. We'll hold back. So from here, if we can get down Leaf Crown Visionary or Lathril, we should be able to then slowly do our thing. Okay, Marsh Flats, sacks. Okay, opponents. Gets the Rackus Theater. They will surveil. Okay, they throw away. Ooh, they throw away Fire Exing Arena. Interesting. Do they have the card draw? Or do they have removal? Oh, okay. Wow. They go after that? Not our commander? Huh. Not what I was expecting, but okay. Oh well. Free land. I'll take it. But we also have an Urborg Repossession, so we can also just get back our stuff right now. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna go with the rope. Okay, but the good news is, thanks to how you did that, opponent, I will do this instead. Denied. Too bad, opponent. Okay, so from here, let's Urborg Repossession and get back the Bastion of Remembrance. Nice. Very, very nice. Paradise Root coming back. Can't blight anything, but no big deal. Now we go on the offensive. All right. We're looking pretty good right now. So also a question now that we're also getting near the end of the stream. How are we all feeling so far with the first impressions from Lorwyn? Now that the set has been out for a whole day, I know, a whole 24 hours. What are your thoughts so far on the set? Now that you've had a chance to, at least hopefully all of you had some chances to play some games, what do you like about the cards? Is there something that you have discovered that you are interested in building around? Or has the set allowed you to create some new stuff that helps enhance your old game plans? Let me know in the comments, everybody. I would love to hear from you. Okay, so cancel out the counters there. All right. You're not sure it exists? Well, that's still great, though. Ooh, Kalissa. Okay, that's good, actually. So here's how we do this. First off, let's see, how much mana? We have 1, 2, 3. We have 6 mana. Okay. So I think... Okay, Legendary Creature time. Kalissa coming down. Okay. Mommy will now soften her up. Nice. We will play... How do we do this here? Okay. Leaf Crown Visionary. Okay, Blight again. Nice. And then from here... This time we'll just go for an attack. I don't think they'll block. So that should be easy damage. Down to 8. Nice. Innkeeper's Talent is keeping the Reaper alive just a little bit. But... Ooh, Dark Ritual. Ooh, okay. What are we getting? Yes, Cookie. I know what I said there. I know what I said. I've been making a couple of really out-of-context comments, I realize, every time I keep mentioning High Perfect Morcant as mommy. Maybe I should be a little bit more mindful of what I say. Out of context Infernoman, everybody. Am I right? It's all good, though. We're having fun. Okay, so they bring back their goblin. It's like a gem goblin deck. Interesting. Okay, so they got protection for it with ward. Okay, and they will put counters. Okay. So, here's how we do this. Thankfully, though, Glissa here is a perfect option for us against an Innkeeper's Talents. So, how we do this here is going to be... Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still have 6. I guess we'll just go for the easier option here. Skemvar Shadow Sage. Okay, we can drain our opponent here. Nice. Down to 4. And we Blight again. At this point, our Blight will definitely lock them out for the game. Nice. Okay. So, from here... I guess we swing with everything? Actually, no. We'll swing with just Glissa. What do you got, opponent? Nice. And then from there... Innkeeper's Talent goes bye-bye. Too bad, opponents. We will soften up everything. They only have a Stalactite in hand, so that's good for us. Okay, Reaper King now goes to becoming a 1-1, which is literally, at this point, no threat to us. Okay, they flip. If they attack, they Blight 1, but that means they can't afford to lose their creatures. So what do they do at this point? Opponents, you're pretty much out of options now. Sure, you can blow up at whatever you want. I don't care what your last card is. We should be good to go here. Anything they do at this point will result in us getting a victory. Dense Splinter. Merfolk are annoying. Yeah, I definitely did not get salty after getting Token Army upon my sorry behind. Oh. Ouch. We actually haven't dealt with Merfolk yet, so I guess we'll find out what you mean in just a bit. So we do lose here Morcant, but not a big deal. She'll just come back in right now. Or maybe she won't because we got the victory once again. Nice! Woo! Elves right now. Got some major good stuff here. I mean, elves have always been good, but they just keep getting better and better. It's just so ridiculous. All right, so we're nearing probably the last 15 minutes of the stream, everybody. And thank you, everybody, for who's been here today, for all of us. I'm going to do, of course, what I can to make sure I give proper shout-outs to everyone. If I don't get you in the shout-out, I do apologize. I try to do what I can to keep track of everyone that has been here today. So if I do miss you, don't worry again. I will try to make sure I can acknowledge you every chance I get. So I will try to do that near the end. I really got to actually put down the list of, or at least like maybe, I don't know, screenshot the chat itself when I can. Okay, Cookie, by the way, when I'm off stream, I leave you running in the background just to add to the count. Aw, you don't have to do that, Cookie. I still appreciate that, though. But, yeah, you do your thing. But thank you. I love all the support all of you provide for me. You guys are all wonderful. Okay, so we're facing off against Tiamat. Ooh. We actually played Tiamat on stream back during Tarkir. Wow, it's almost been a year since we've done that. Good lord, time flies. But yeah, we have it's been a while. So it's gonna be 5-color dragons, huh? Okay. Well, bring it on. Young dragon, made a treasure. And we'll go from here. Okay, we got a Deadly Dispute, that's cute. Death Clap Glade. Tireless Provisioner. Opponents? Do you have an answer? Oh, they have a Source of Plowshare. Okay. Annoying, but not the worst. Okay, Warden of the Cycle. We have Lathril also. We have options. Okay. Chromatic Lantern, that's cute. We'll play... I guess we'll play Lathril now. So this way, once Wardens of the Cycle comes in, we can start making a ton of elves. Or not. Opponents. 4 cards in hand. Okay, so they do have just a mana rock. So they can use that to tap for more dragon shenanigans. Okay, so from here... Warden of the Cycle. Swing. Down to 23. Make some elves. That's good. So now we slowly build up the board. Assuming our opponent does not have anything to stop our plan. All I just need to do is I need our opponent to tap out. If they could just tap out, we'd be good to go here. What will you do, opponents? Opponents? 3 cards in hand. 23 life. What could you possibly... Okay, Wrathful Dragon. Okay. And they got haste. Whenever a dragon you control is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to its target. Okay. Ouch. Okay, well, looks like our opponent here is trying to slow us down a smidge. So how do we do this here? I think we'll do it this way. Give our elves a little pump here. We will take out the dragon. Nice. Phew. Big swing here. Down to 16. Make some more tokens. So even if we can't get Mommy out, Lathril here, or other, I guess you could say, Elf Mommy, I guess, can still do some stuff. That's cool. Ooh, okay. So here comes Tiamat. But this actually should be good here. I have something really gnarly that's going to really hurt our opponent here. So, if this works how I think it does, once we get her on and Lathril swings, we'll make a ton of tokens and soften up Tiamat so much so that our opponent will lose. Okay, here we go. This is what we came here for, everybody. She's on the field. Softens up our opponent here. We will... You know what? Actually, let's just swing with everything. -1, though. Tiamat, go ahead. Block 1. That's fine. I'll even get some card draw off of that. Make a treasure. Down to 5. And there we go. Soften them up. We will soften them up even more. Okay. 2/2 dragon. Nice. Okay, so I think we should be good to go here. Our opponent has a lot of dragons, which are all scary, but they all cost a ton of mana. I mean, they could steal away our Mommy for a second here anyway. That actually won't matter because we've already weakened them just enough where we get the victory. Yeah. Oh, that was a beautiful one, by the way. Not even dragons can stop our elves. Love it. Phew. Still on a win streak here, everybody. I mean, again, aside from 2 losses, we're getting our wins in today, and we're definitely making progress here. All right, let's keep the good times rolling. I think with what time we have left on the stream, I think we could do maybe 1 or 2 more games, depending on how long they take. But yeah, we are looking really, really good today. Okay, we're playing against Y'shtola from the Final Fantasy set. I actually haven't had a chance to fight against her much, so we'll see how this goes. This might be an interesting one. Ah, okay. Oh, Cookie Dragon, why don't I drag my... Hilarious. You've been spicy today. Even more so than normal. Okay, so let's see here. I think we'll play the Forest. Elvish Mystic. So Esper Sentinel, which can be very annoying to draw cards, but we have an answer for that pretty quick. Reclamation Sage thankfully gets around this plan. Okay, sacrifice Marsh Flats. Alright, that's cool. Okay, I forgot. So Y'shtola here. They draw cards with life lost. Anytime we cast a non-creature spell. Okay, so then they do some life gain and drain shenanigans. Okay. Huh. Let's see if we can get around that. Alright, Esper Sentinel goes bye-bye. Denied. Nice. So from here... Okay. Opponent's got the Swamp. What else you got, opponents? You got 5 cards in hand. Can't play Y'shtola just yet. Cookie. I've had people flirting with me on my Discord all day. It's influenced me. Really now? Wait. Hold on. You're not thirst trapping, are you? I'm just kidding, by the way. Just kidding. But yeah. All right, well, Cookie getting a little attention over here and there. Interesting. We'll see. Just make sure again. Be nice, but not too nice. That's my only advice to you as a, not as a dad, but I guess you could say as Uncle Infernoman. Be nice to the boys, but not too nice. Okay, Y'shtola coming in. Okay, so from here, Elf Mommy coming in. Blight. We begin that. All right, softening them up. We will station with Mommy. All right. So we got to get up to 12 before we can start tapping this for a ton of mana. We'll see if we can do that, though. Marwyn also comes in, too. Soul Shatter. Ow. All right. Opponents sending Mommy back to the command zone. It's fine, though. It's okay. Flooded Strand. That's cute. You swear? People just like Femboy's turn. I mean, I don't know. In this day and age, Cookie, I don't know what to tell you. All I can just say is those, yeah, just, I mean, I obviously don't have to tell you, but still, just be careful out there. Just be careful. Okay, Blight again. All right. I guess we'll station again. Not much else we can do. So now Y'shtola is now at a point where they're super duper softened up. So now we don't have to worry about damage from it specifically. But we still have to get life gain and drained just a bit. Okay, this Rainforest. So are they gonna Shockland, I'm guessing? Is that way they can draw a card? Yep. No surprise there. So that means they will draw a card. Okay. MacD and Ilta from, what was that, Omen Paths? / Spider-Man? Okay. Sure, we'll go with that. Okay, Surveil. Okay, Morcant's Loyalist. We'll put that on top. And then I realize now we don't have the black mana for Felda Profane. Oh boy. So for now, I guess, Ender's tapped. We'll Blight again. Okay. And then Marwyn the Nurturer coming in. Blight again. And then from here, station once more with Mommy. All right, so Avendo is now online. Not too bad. The Mind Skinner. Okay. Not what I was expecting, but okay. So they mill away one card. That's cute, by the way. Okay, so from here, we will tap here. And there we go. Denied. Not too bad. And we also drain them for 2. Also awesome. From here, we will... Mind Skinner can't be blocked, but they can block, so no attacks yet. So once we have the Mind Skinner... Oh, wait, hold on. Did they not bring back their commander? Huh. Interesting choice, opponent, but okay. They swing, but we will destroy the Mind Skinner. And now at this point, they've completely lost control of the game. Beautiful. All right. Opponents had enough there. Nice. Very nice. All right. Wow. I love this card. It's been so great to us today. Man, what an amazing one today. Okay, so I'm looking at the clock, everybody. So win or lose on this next one, because I got to take care of some other things. This will be our final game for the day, everybody. Well, once again, thank you so much to everyone who has been here for the past couple hours with me and spreading the love of Lorwyn Eclisped with, of course, our Elf Mommy. She's a really good card, by the way, and she's actually pretty nasty, by the way. Wait. Forget what I said. You know what I said. You know what I said. Anyways, it's been fun. And I will definitely talk about her in our wrap-up once again once we get to the very end. So once we get to the end of the stream, we'll go over her, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But from there, we'll then, of course, give you a little quick sneak peek as to what we're going to be doing coming up. So we'll give you a little idea as to what our next decks will be. Oh, hold on one second. Is our opponent? Oh. I guess our opponent didn't want to play against us there. Okay, so we'll skip that one. That one was a mulligan. That was a mulligan, everybody. Okay, for reals, this next one should be the final one. I guess our opponent didn't want to play the mirror match. That's fair. That's totally cool. Cookie, Oh, Cookie, at this point, if you went through the whole stream, I'm sure you could probably do like a whole compilation of me being out of context, if you will, with how many times I've made weird references to our card today. Yeah, not too often I get like that, but hey, it was fun. This has definitely been a fun one for me. Okay, so let's see. Let's lock in this time, everybody. We are in for the final one here.
It's time to
Yeah, all right, okay. Okay, so our opponent is going to be playing with everyone's favorite from Avatar, Heibai. So it's going to be Shrines versus Elves. We technically have the right pieces to stop their game plan because we have Reclamation Sage, which destroys our enchantments, and Glissa as well. So if we can get Glissa to survive, she will be a powerhouse against our opponent. But we all need to see if we can find a way to survive the hits. That's all we got to do. Okay, a Forest to start the game. Play the Wasted Verge. Deathrite Shaman coming in. Okay, so I guess we might have to use Disciple of Freyalise as a land. Patchwork Banner can come in. That should give us the mana we need for Glissa and Reclamation Sage. All right. We got options. That's the important part. That is what's important. Okay, opponent, what you got? You still got a full hand. Nothing's out of yet. Opponent is carefully thinking about life, I'm guessing. All right. All right, Chronicle of Worship. And Alchemy card. Surprisingly, we haven't played against very many Alchemy cards today. Not that I want to play against Alchemy cards, but I guess it's a nice change of pace. Okay, we hurt ourselves with the Peat Land. Swing here. Okay. Opponent, what you got? Chronicle of Worship is one of the older Alchemy cards, by the way, but it does work with Shrines, much to my dismay. Okay. Opponent. Down to 24. Okay. We got him. 6 cards in hand. Heibai still can't do anything yet. Or can he? Oh my god. That does count as a mana dork. So. Alright, the Sanctum comes in. A little scary, but not the worst for us because we still have options here. So we play basically Reclamation Sage and destroy that Sanctum. Sorry, opponent. You're not going to cheat out mana just yet. Not today. Not today. Okay, now all we just need to do is get to Glissa, and I think we should be good to go here. Although we also could play high our mommy anyway. I don't know. I guess it depends on what our opponent does here next. So I'm guessing they were hoping to get that extra mana to cast things they needed, but we should be able to stop them. Okay, opponents. What you got? Okay. Heibai can't do anything yet. A Chronicle or a Worship. Oh, they just swing. Okay. I was like, you can swing. You want to swing, opponent. Go ahead. Okay, nothing from our opponent. That's cute. So, from here... Glissa coming down. Maybe? Opponents? Opponents? Okay, cool. I was about to say, I'm like, okay, come on. Can't adapt with it still. That's okay, though. Patchwork Banner might be best coming down next. See what our opponent does here. 5 cards, opponent. You've got right now... Okay, they got Aang's Journey. That's cute. That is cute. So let's see. I wish we had a removal spell for Heibai. Once we get that out of the way, then it's pretty much going to be a clean shot here to do what we want. Okay, so I think from here, we exile Aang's Journey. Eat that. Train our opponent for 2. That's cute. Okay, so from here... Mommy coming in. All right. What do we blight? It's got to be Heibai. It has to be Heibai. Okay, as I figured. Take 3 damage. We'll play Devoted Druid. Soften him up again. Nice. We will tap here. 1, 2, 3. Soften it up even more. Okay, so with that, Heibai's down. Goes to the graveyard, which is fine. If he plays it again, so be it, but I think we should be good to go here. Oh man, we're so close to just stopping our opponent from here. Oh. Oh dear. Okay, opponent's got Villas in Wrath, so... Wow. Okay. Well, definitely now it's a whole new game. Okay, Patchwork Banner on Elf. Okay. Vendo and Iron Shield, Elf. So at this point, it's a new game. Okay, well, I guess this wasn't going to be an easy one for us, but again, it's Shrines, and they do have a lot of options. But we'll see. We can still try to get around their game plan. They don't have white mana yet, so they cannot play Sanctum of All. So Heibai's got to come in and do its thing again. Okay, this time they got the Stone Fangs. That's cute, by the way. Let's play Wami coming in again. Soften up Heibai. Alright. We swing here. Do they block? They do block, okay. Throw away our only other card. Okay, that's down. So Heibai can come in again. Free ETB trigger every time, but we have to do the damage to get through. For now, let's station again. So up to 9. A Vendo can max itself out soon. Heibai again for more shenanigans. We need at least one thing at this point to... Okay. This is now where the deck is going to start fumbling a bit here. Peatland. Gotta sacrifice it. Draw a card. Okay, Galagreeters. Guess it's something. Okay, Blight. Okay, soften it up. We swing. Opponents. Do you have an answer? Take the 9 damage. Man, if we only had at least one of our card draw spells, we could be set. Let's see. So from here... This is a tricky turn. So we can do... Let's go station now. Okay, make a treasure, or at least put a counter on something. I guess gain 2 life. No, gain 2 life. Station again. Okay, so Avendo is now online. So at least now we have plenty of mana to do everything we want. But we gotta find a way to stop our opponent before it's too late. We have enough elves. That's not the problem. Just gotta find a way around this. Okay. Hit him with a rock? I would love to hit him with a rock, but we are out of rocks right now. Cookie. Oh, required updates. We will be disbanding new matches in 10 minutes for those who have not updated. Oh. Huh, okay. I don't think I've gotten that message in a while. Okay, so literally this means that once this is done here, that's our only game. So this is it, everybody. Win or lose for sure. Even Arena's like, hey, no new games until you update. Okay, well, that's fine with me. So let's see. I guess how do we want to do this here? Yeah, looks like Arena will not let us continue on. So it is what it is. You've never seen that before, Cookie? I've only seen it twice, because usually when they update, I'm usually not online. So that's the first time they've done it at midday. Usually they always do the updates in the middle of the night. But okay. I guess that's just how it's going to be today. Okay, so from here, we will gain some more life back. Light, hey bye, on Elf. We can... I guess we'll go here. We swing. Swing with everything. Okay, opponents. Just getting big swings in here because I'm just trying to close this out quick. Down to 9. Whew, okay. So we are literally on a 10-minute clock right now. I just want to get enough time to finish the game, or at the very minimum, just get us to the wrap-up before we can end it. Because once they force us to update, then we're going to have to go offline. I guess that timed itself out well? Okay, so for now, let's sacrifice our fish. We eat our little fish to draw a card. And we'll go from there. Okay, still not getting anything. Okay, so... I guess we'll play the forest. So from here... Big swing. Did we win? Oh, there we go. I guess our opponent just kind of gave up there. So, yay! We did it! Yay! Whew. I thought we were going to drag that one out, but okay. Looks like our opponent probably just lost the will to play. I'll take it. A win's a win, everybody. Okay, well, that takes some pressure off. Okay, but before Arena boots us out forcefully, let's actually wrap this up, everybody. So let's talk about really quick Elf Mommy tonight. Elf Mommy did great. She's a powerhouse. She's a great card, by the way. Man, oh man. Elf Mommy here, I cannot praise her enough. I'm sure if the card was alive, I'm pretty sure she would appreciate that. But seriously, High Perfect Morcant here, everybody. This card, blighting, once you start putting those counters on stuff, your opponent kind of has to put themselves in an awkward spot where you eventually keep withering them away down to nothing. The card goes really, really well with elves. It really synergizes with a lot of the game plan, but it definitely puts a nice little twist on what elves can do. So I do like what the card does. Having said that, if I was to rebuild this, I would probably put in more cards that do -1/-1 counters. I don't know how to really type that into Arena to find specifically those counter cards, but I know they exist. They definitely exist if you kind of go through things here. So that's probably something I would probably kind of start looking at doing, is trying to find more support cards that focus on the counter plan. So if you want to do that, definitely consider just building the stuff here. Like for example, I'm trying to find like actual cards here that have -1/-1 counters, because I know they exist. We saw some of them today. And then what is it? You can do cards that do adding and minusing +1/+1 counters. Those are cool too. As far as other cards that, like for example, like Persist here, works with -1/-1 counters, things like that. So if you want to play with more of the counter shenanigans, by all means, definitely do so. Lethal Sting here also provides for -1/-1 counters. I think the set that you're going to want to look at mostly is going to be from Amonkhet. So Amonkhet has a lot of counter stuff if that's what you want to do. And I realize now if I was to rebuild this, I probably would have added more of that kind of stuff to the game plan. But even so, Elf Mommy alone on a budget still works really well. I was really satisfied with how the deck turned out. As far as the upgraded deck, I don't even know what to say. It's good. It really is a good deck. Of course, this one's going to cost you, I think the deck costs like $400 to $500 in actual paper. Not that I would encourage you guys to pay $400 or $500 upfront for a single deck, but at least in Arena, if you are willing to spend the resources, it is very, very strong and very effective. Even with my janky deck building ways, I was able to put together for you today a pretty solid deck that I think would go really well. So both the budget deck and the non-budget deck work perfectly fine, and I would definitely recommend both for either way, however you want to play. Definitely play them both, and if you are interested, the links, of course, will be located in the details of this live stream once we're done in just a few minutes. Now, before Arena boots us out, For those of you who stuck around this far into the stream, thanks again for doing so, my true fire friends. Here's a quick little sneak peek as to what we're going to be doing. So, Blightmare is going to be our next deck tech, and our first one from Lorwyn that's going to be built for standard that I'll put out in a couple of days. We're going to refine this deck a little bit more, but I think it's pretty much going to be set in stone for what we're building with it. So it's a goblin deck, so we definitely got to do goblins. That'll be coming up for all of you on a budget coming up soon. We also going to be doing another basically deck coming up, which is perfect because on theme for Lorwyn is going to be one that focuses on fairies, but don't worry, we will be doing an actual fairy deck again now that we're back in Lorwyn. So we'll see if we can do maybe something in Pioneer, because the last time we did a fairy deck, I think it was standard legal, but that was when Eldraine came out. So for this one, that's going to be a Pioneer one coming in the future, but the actual deck tech that we'll do here will also be one for ultra budget players, one that's built around fairies. Fairly cool. I'm sure all of you will enjoy that one. As far as any other decks we've had a couple ideas that I've been trying to work on. I already have an idea for a Kithkin deck. We haven't had a chance to build it yet, but that's going to be coming up down the line. Hopefully I can get that done, if not today, maybe soon. If I can get that done in time for the stream for Friday or Saturday, we'll see if we can just wrap that up. Cookie. Yes, I know what I said there. I know what I said with all that stuff. Y'all are going to take me out of context so much on this stream if anybody quotes this, so I accept, of course, that's going to happen. But otherwise, that's pretty much all I have for now, everybody. Don't worry. Even though I haven't mentioned it, we will be covering all the other ones. We will be doing Elemental deck again. We will be doing a Merfolk deck again. So we're definitely going to be touching upon those and hopefully breathing new life into those creature builds, thanks to Lorwyn, and hopefully also come up with some more janky stuff from other cards from other sets that I've been wanting to build, but I haven't quite found the right thing yet. There is one deck that I also want to kind of play around with, but I might retool this one completely. There was a card that popped up in my feed for the Walls of Ba Sing Se to flip this and do damage to an opponent's face by then throwing the wall at them. But we'll see if we can try to make that work. The current build I have kind of works, but it's also kind of janky and not in a fun way. But we'll see if we can try to fix the build a wall deck. Otherwise, I pretty much don't have anything else, everyone. Oh, we might actually do also a Bushwhacker burn deck, but this is for Timeless. So if I have time for that, timeless. But seriously, if I have time, I'll see if we can try to get that one off the ground as well. But that's pretty much going to be it for today, everybody. Thanks one more time to everyone who was here in the live streams, everybody. So we're going to, of course, say our final shout-outs before we take off for today. So I know some of you aren't here anymore, but shout-outs to those of you that were in the chat from earlier, like those of you such as IC3, YY Plays. Thanks again for popping in for a little bit. And also for those of you that were popping up the early part of the stream, sorry I cannot pull up the live stream right now that shows that you guys were chatting with me, but thanks again for that. Some of the other ones that I can see on here, like Michael Mayhems, thanks again for popping in as well. Dan Splendor as always. Cookie, you guys are obviously my all-stars that I always appreciate you guys chatting with. It's just the same. And everyone else that does pop into the chats, whether you are there or you're lurking or you're just checking me out post live, like if you're watching on the replay, thanks one more time, everybody. You're all wonderful, and I really appreciate doing these. As long as you guys want to keep watching, I'll keep doing them. But until next time, everybody, that's it for today. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. Keep building those Lorwyn decks. Show me what you got. Hopefully we'll get a chance to play together again soon. I'm going to see if we can try to do a player stream coming up soon before Ninja Turtles comes out, but we'll talk about that down the line. One more time, have a wonderful day, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, and this will be it for today. But as always, before we kind of give a final shout-out, I want to remind you guys of the most important thing to leave you with today. Just remember that no matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure to burn bright. We'll see you again on the weekend, everybody. Later.